Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. I have done my undergrad from NIT Rourkela and Metallurgical Engineering. Now you might be wondering why I chose that particular college or that particular degree. No, nothing. It has nothing to do with my personal choices or preferences, by the way. It was only the list that I followed, right? Hey, these are the top 20 colleges. In every college, pick the top 5 branches and then move from college number 1 to college number 2 to college number 3. Now, that was a mistake that I made, and I believe each one of us do the same thing when we are going for our undergrad degrees. But this mistake should not be repeated when we are going and applying for an MBA or a master's or an MIM program. Then what should we do? We have to learn more about the school. We have to understand the philosophy of the school and what is that something which we can take away from the school, and is that something that we really want. Unless we do that kind of research, we just can't blindly go and say that, hey, I want to go join this school because it is highly ranked. No, that's not the mistake that we would like to repeat once again. So with that objective in mind, I want to give you real close insights into INSEAD. Let's get started with the video without any further delay. Irrespective of whether we follow rankings versus not, we still have to look at the rankings at least once. And this clearly indicates that INSEAD is one of the top ranked schools from the last decade continuously. Just this is the current ranking from Financial Times, and INSEAD is ranked number 3 on the list. Now, if we move into the real important part, that's the philosophy. Let's get started with the location. Fontainebleau is the primary location where INSEAD started as a business school, and then it expanded into Singapore, subsequently into Abu Dhabi in the recent past. Now, Fontainebleau is a forest area where you cannot go out every single day and meet a lot of people like New York City or London or some other big city, right? So you bond a lot more with your classmates, and this is by design. Campus towns are designed in such a way that students actually bond a lot more with other students rather than spending time in the cities, right? You go look at any college town in the US, in UK, or any other part of the world, and this is the primary reason, and INSEAD has exactly same philosophy, that students spend a lot more time with each other. Now, if you talk about Singapore, Singapore is a huge city, you can do a lot of things, but the important thing about INSEADers is that 99% of the INSEADers in Singapore stay in 2 apartment complexes, Heritage and Dover. That's it. If you have been to Singapore and if you know about Heritage and Dover, please do click on the like button. Now, this is what INSEAD philosophy is all about. It's an intense 10-month program, and they give a lot of opportunities for the students to spend time with each other. Number 2, when you understand the philosophy of INSEAD, you need to know the age bracket. The average age group is 23 to 36 and the median falls around 29. This median number is relatively higher compared to any other top B school in the world, right? Now, that is important because you get to interact with folks who have little more experience in their own fields, and that expertise reflects in the classroom conversations. Combine that with different nationalities, 75 plus nationalities, right? No nationality has representation of more than 10% in the classroom. In a class of 500 students, right, for September intake, French are less than 10%, Indians are less than 10%, Chinese are less than 10%. So there is no majority. Everybody is a minority in this context. From this group of diverse individuals, add on their expertise. That's a fantastic learning opportunity from your peers as well, right? Now, you add on to that the classroom angle that is coming because of 2 things. Number 1, professors, and number 2, the case studies. INSEAD is a case study driven school, right? What does it mean? Every concept is taught through a case, right? And these cases are coming from, again, different parts of the world. Unlike US business schools where 60% of the class is Americans, INSEAD has no dominance from any particular country, so the cases are also representative. Even if you take an accounting class, 1 week the case study is coming from Japan, the next week the case study is coming from Germany, right? So that's the classroom angle, which adds a lot more prominence to the learning. The other part is the travel. since we talked that the campuses are located in Singapore, in Abu Dhabi, and of course in Fontainebleau, these are three different geographies almost, right? Like, hey, these are three different locations in the world. If you talk about Europe, it's very easy for you to travel, right? You drive from Paris to Belgium, to Netherlands, to Switzerland. So I have driven to all these places, by the way. So I know that people do drive. Then if you are in Singapore, you take a 2-hour flight to any other country in Southeast Asia. This travel is again a learning opportunity to spend more time with your friends beyond the classroom. So two aspects of the learning. One is in classroom learning, and the next one is the outside the classroom learning. And both carry equal weight. I cannot emphasize more on this point, which is very difficult to get, and this perspective is very hard to develop in any other B school. So these are by design. This is not a random occurrence. All these things are happening through design. The third thing which I want to highlight is the fact that you are happy to learn something in the class, but you really care as a business student what you take away from the campus. The first and the most important thing is the job. If you look at this list, this is from the INSEAD Employment Statistics Report, which indicates that the top 10 employers list. And in this top 10 employers, 8 are from the consulting world, clearly indicating that this is a consulting heavy school, right? 2 points to remember. Number one is INSEAD has 2 intakes, by the way, right? One is September intake, the other one is the January intake. The September intake does not have a 2-month window in between for an internship opportunities. However, when you start in January, you complete 4 months of INSEAD, then you do 2 months of internship, then you come back and do another 6 months of the college life. In the September intake, you do not have any such kind of internship breaks. Now, why do I emphasize so much on internships? Only because financial services firms tend to recruit a lot more through the internship model, right? Unlike consulting firms, which can recruit directly, right? That is the reason why you see one of the batches, that is the September intake, the 500 students from September intake is dominated very heavily by the consulting side, and the January batch has a good representation from the financial services side as well. So if you are targeting financial side, you need to make sure that you cover all your bases and you know why you are selecting a particular batch. That's number one. The second thing along with the job opportunity is your ability and your intention to switch, right? 83% of the MBA candidates actually switch one of the three, either sector, country, or function. Now, this is a very high number. Coming from India, and if you are a pharma background individual, you move into London, then you fall into that 83% bucket, right? So you are changing your country. And if you are coming from the industry and if you move into, let's say, consulting, then again you might be falling into that 83% bracket. So this switch is something which almost everybody goes through. More than 4 out of 5 students go through this switch, right? And 25% people change all the dimensions. This is extremely difficult, but still people do it. So if you want to know more about these things, who is doing what, I would request you to spend a lot more time reading the employment reports of not only INSEAD but any top B school. You would have a lot of answers very clear to what you should do versus what you should not do through these employment reports. Moving forward, along with the job, there is one other angle which you will also gain from this entire experience. That is your network. Now, network is not just about folks. Network is also about where they are coming from and where they are moving. When 83% of the people are moving into different industries, locations, and sectors, you are building your network also in all these geographies, all these sectors, and all these industries, and that will help you in the long run. If you want to start a business, your classmates can potentially be your clients, and if your classmates are starting a business, you can be an investor or you can be a client, right? And that too not from the same geography. It could be from any part of the world. I recently, after almost 5 years post INSEAD, was talking to a friend from Africa who is now working in the e-commerce sector, and we have done a project together, right? That's the power of networking that you can get because you are sitting in a classroom with a very diverse set of individuals. Now, why should you consider INSEAD and what are the situations that you shouldn't consider INSEAD as well. Number one is the ROI perspective. If you want to get a good ROI, no other institute beats INSEAD simply because it's a 1-year MBA program. You spend 10 months in the college and you are getting a consulting job in London, in Australia, in Dubai, one of these locations. No other college can provide you with that kind of a swift shift, right? So please understand the relevance of ROI in this context. Number two is that you potentially can end up working in Australia, Singapore, Dubai, London, France, any of these locations. So if you are location agnostic, you should definitely consider INSEAD. Number three, you should consider INSEAD only if you are ready to go through this intense experience and you are ready to prepare yourself before you get started. What do I mean by preparation? Since it's a 10-month program, you might be getting an interview within 2 months after joining the college. So before joining the college itself, 6 months prior to joining the college, you spend a lot of time preparing for your interviews, preparing for networking events, all this kind of stuff. And if you are ready to do that, then this is a great place. The next thing which I want to highlight is why you shouldn't join INSEAD, right? Hey, one of the biggest reasons that you should not consider INSEAD is if you are hell-bent on going to the US. It gives you exposure to Europe, Asia, Middle East, Australia, and a bunch of different geographies, but cracking US market only because of these visa restrictions is relatively tough. If you definitely want to move into the US market, then please consider if you want to go join INSEAD versus not. Okay, that is one reason. And the second thing, if you want to spend more time on the campus, if you want to immerse yourself, let's say for 2 years, then you know that this is not the right place. But if you are again thinking about the ROI, think about it. Fees, right? The fees, the complete total cost of INSEAD education could be around 115,000 euros, $115,000. Now that €1 equal to $1, right? Now, studying in a top USB school could cost you almost $200,000, so 2x the cost. So think about these factors before making your decision. By the way, if you want me to make more such videos, please do let me know in the comments box and I'll be happy to make any other videos as well related to INSEAD or other top B schools. Thank you so much, guys. If you like the video, please do press on the like button and let me know your thoughts on the comments box. Take care. Bye-bye.